more control. First time through, blind playthrough. So, last time, we went exploring in the Black Rock Quarry, in the processing facility specifically. Met some mine predators, some new enemy types and so on. And in the meantime, since that last stream, I went ahead and did some re-exploring of areas I've already done. And I missed out on a lot of things. So, obviously this door with clearance level 2 needed opening, but there's also doors in Central Executive that need opening. One of which being the post-it note door. So let's go ahead and travel back there. Because we need to go back there, go and talk to Marshall about what we found in the quarry. Because we managed to get one of those black rocks now. Black rock prism. And yeah, so the things that I found while re-exploring in my own time were everything that refers to the Havana AWE Altered World event, yes. So Tomasi blamed that all on the noise gun. And that's actually based off a real thing in that in military warfare, you are banned from using noise because that was one of the tactics they used to drive people out from basically like a modern day siege. They blasted music at people to get them to move away. Yeah, we got this post-it note door, or as I like to call it, the post-it note room. To explore in here. So I'm sure there's going to be many things inside here to find. And once I've picked up all the important stuff, all the important details in here, we'll have some reading to do. Sticky note complaint, yes. I'm sure there will be many, many complaints about the sticky notes covering all these walls here. Just having a look at this board here. That's probably a real formula, but I don't really care enough to figure out what it's for, so that's the post-it note room. I forget if post-it note is a brand. Like, is post-it a brand? Is sticky note the non-brand version? The generic version, I guess. Also, there is a cat in the background who's meowing at me, just to let you know. And yes, you can clearly tell I have not shaved my head today yet. But we are hopeful that Pimmsy will be feeling well enough to do it on Friday. So, clearance level 3 as well. No files in here that I could see. A weapon mod here. And again, a radio. So yeah, when I went back as well, I turned off the mute copyrighted music option, and all the radios turn on when you do that. But because I've got that on while streaming, we're not going to be able to listen to any of the in-game music via the radios. Which would be nice, because it would help sort of settle the uneasy feeling I have when it comes to exploring these areas with, like, how am I going to get jumped by the hiss at some point? Also, just while it's on my mind, we're going to ignore Marshall for the time being, because there was something I found that was very interesting to me while exploring the executive affairs, right? So we have this shelter here, and in this shelter, there is a guy who has been infected by the hiss. So I was totally under the impression that being inside these shelters would protect you from the hiss. And that's why we'd never found anyone inside these shelters, because they never made it in. But this guy did. And he is obviously floating in the air. So he's infected with hiss. So yeah, what's the point of all these shelters then if they don't actually protect you? We got Reaper here. Hello Reaper, thanks for joining the stream. How you doing today? And I think, yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and read all the notes I picked up last time, and there were a lot. So, to collectibles, research and records. I don't know what the first one on this list is going to be, but let's have a look. America Overnight Program results. The America Overnight Program has operated successfully over blank years. Originally designed to assist in providing disinformation to the naturally skeptical population of America, it has additionally led to the discovery of numerous AWEs and altered materials by allowing civilians to call in and report their experiences with the paranatural. In fact, America Overnight alerted the Bureau of Federal Control and blank in its first year of operation alone. In this report, the investigation sector have catalogued and categorized each episode of America Overnight that has resulted in a successful Bureau investigation in order to help AWE occurrence analysis. The more blank results of Night Springs have also been catalogued in a separate report. That sounds like they were trying to use it for their own advantage, but then they also realized that, hey, this radio program lets people collect all the information in from all over the country. Today, I could go to level 5 House of Colony 6 because I was lucky. I was gifting things between the groups to increase affinity and almost gifted one item that I needed for House level 5. So that doesn't sound like you were lucky. That was almost unlucky. That item I could only get from an area that I can't access anymore. Yeah, that sounds unlucky, not lucky. Oh, unless you mean the fact that you didn't give the item was lucky. Because if you had given that item, then you would be stuck from being able to do it. Okay, yeah, I see now. Alright, so that's America Overnight. And then the Pope's... Oh, I say the Pope. Emily Pope's promotion. Dr. Darling has personally recommended Ms. Pope for a promotion based on her work ethic and assistance in advancing many ongoing research matters. See research reports blank for breakthroughs resulting from her work. According to her colleagues, Pope has displayed a keen eye for detail and a quick grasp of paranatural concepts. She's professional and diligent, though some of her co-workers complain of social disinterest. The review committee approves this recommendation and promotes Ms. Pope to the position of research specialist. So, Pope's good at her job, and that's why she's the research specialist. And she seems good. Collective Unconscious by Bronte and Dunn by order of Emily. Collective unconscious is defined as a form of the unconscious that is shared in all human minds. From this arises unconscious knowledge linking us through our ancestral heritage. See Young Report 12-34. Through this collective unconscious, we unknowingly attribute a series of images and archetypes to all elements of our lives. These archetypes are never fixed, but shift and change in tandem with our species and culture. This internal belief in the power of images shared by a massive population is blank in the creation of altered items and objects of power. The sheer amount of blank exuded is attracted to the best representation of that image, imbuing a single object with massive amounts of power. Theoretically, places of power could likewise be formed by the simple power of sustained collective belief. So basically, if you believe in it, it becomes true. So I do like the belief concept. Like it's I think it's a 40k or Warhammer's concept where the orcs paint their cars with red stripes because they believe it makes it go faster, and because they believe it goes faster, it does go faster. That's always really cool. Yes, Reaper decided to stop gifting, then check what I needed, so you were able to move to level 5 of Colony 6. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to keep an eye out for making sure I don't do that don't do that in my own game. Alright, were there any other? Aha, power utility. Objects of power are unique in their capacity to grant certain individuals paranatural abilities. We call these individuals para-utilitarians. The potency of these abilities depends on the para-utilitarian. Using the blank object of power as an example, some para-utilitarians can achieve a throw distance of blank, while others are only capable as little as blank. See Dr. Darling presentation 11.15 for more information. That must be the floppy disk. What exactly determines an individual's paranatural competence is unknown, but it is largely believed that some blank exists within the body, and that, like all muscles, it can be exercised. To continue my analysis, I have officially requested access to the Northmore records, considering he is one of the most accomplished para-utilitarians the Bureau has ever seen. Dr. Darling is still considering this request. So Emily did that, but by order of Dr. Darling, so why is he still considering the request? Also, wouldn't it be down to Trench to approve that rather than Darling? Alright, so... Aha! So here's the Havana AWE I was referring to. We got Ollie here as well. Hello! Hello, lovely. Thanks for joining the stream, Ollie. How you doing? Reaper says, I could go to level 5 so I could invite some guys over to Colony 6 so I could complete some quests. Okay, so, Havana. An auditory event occurred at the United States Embassy in Havana, injuring the majority of diplomatic staff stationed there. Blank deaths were reported, and the outgoing information has been managed. I assume that's no deaths? Bureau agents arrived at the embassy on the same day as the event was reported through federal channels, but were too late to witness the ADOE, which is reported to have been blank. Staff experienced sudden intense vibrations and noise, accompanied by an intense pressure in the ears. This lasted for 10 minutes, 30 minutes. No visual phenomena was witnessed, the scene was cordoned off, and the embassy staff were transported to the continental US. After Formula I.9 was recited in the vicinity, a single cowboy boot began to vibrate, identifying it as an altered item. The item was contained and brought to the Bureau for examination. See case file AI85 for details. And then the supplement to that. Bureau medical staff personally evaluated the injured embassy personnel when they arrived back in the country. While the victims reported cognitive issues, dizziness, and fatigue, further testing by Bureau medics found intense cell damage similar to that of radiation exposure. Agents and research staff remained to take soil samples from the surrounding area, but found no trace of an blank beyond the health issues of the staff. The communications department disseminated a story of foreign powers using noise guns on the embassy staff, resulting in various health issues that required the embassy to be evacuated. The story successfully took hold, gaining brief international attention. So they're saying that because of the explanation of the real-world event where they did use noise warfare against other people, I forget what the exact details of that is, but it did happen. They're saying that they managed to use that successfully in this situation to explain the Havana event, which is pretty cool. Reaper says, what I hate most are the quests that are only available if you have something unlocked in the affinity chart. They can only be unlocked if you talk with the character, and I hate it more when to unlock that in the affinity chart, you have to talk to that character between X and Y hours. Yeah, you'd think that with the quality of life changes they've added to Xenoblade Definitive Edition, they would have made it so that they give you like a notice to say, hey, by the way, this next part of the quest is going to be able to be done, and you know, you get a highlight and you can maybe even fast travel there, but they don't seem to do that. The next sub goal is cut Pimmsy's hair, or the mystery goal, which is shave my beard. I was actually considering shaving the beard anyway as part of the 15 sub goal that we did. So when Pimmsy eventually shaves my head, the beard will go as well. I don't think I'll be like completely smooth, but it'll be a lot shorter than it is now. But no, the mystery goal is something a little bit different. But again, I think I'll keep that a bit more close to my chest for the time being, until Pimmsy will get to enjoy that at the same time. Okay, correspondence. So, executive meeting minutes. So, the rising cost of ADB response, mold eradication efforts, upcoming salary review, new supply of coffee filters to be found and vetted. Please come prepared. Thank you for your time. They really love their coffee in this bureau. Alright, Marshall, ADV investigation. Marshall, we'd checked out the suspected ADV in Duluth. Wasn't anything, just like the house fire before this, and the malfunctioning clothes dryer before that. My team is getting pretty sick of duds. We need to find a better way to sort the fake ADVs from the real things, or you need to rotate these field agents off for a bit. Anyway, we're en route to Sherman Ranch, next one on the list. Let's hope it's a little livelier there. Sincerely, Special Agent Keenum. So, they're having to investigate stuff that isn't actually altered events. Interesting. Anything else? Aha. Dinner reservations at 7 p.m. Chez Ombre. Wife will meet you there, don't be late. Flowers are ready for you at the lobby reception. Remember, she's turning 46. I forget where I found this, so I don't actually know who this is referring to. Is it Trench's wife? Maybe Northmore's? Not sure. Okay. The problem is that it's not to access part of the quest, but to actually get a quest from the character. Oh. Yeah, you're just going to have to go wiki diving for that. Sometime it's talking to the guy that lives there to get a mission from someone else. Oh dear. Yeah, you'd think they would have streamlined that a little bit better, but I guess they didn't. We got the Real Pie Master here that says sunflower seeds. Hello, Real Pie Master. The mystery goal will be to shave RiggyRob's hair top to bottom order. No, I don't think that would go well either, because there's no way for you guys to even see that most of the time. Like, you can clearly see my head, and you can clearly see my beard, but, like, you're not going to see my chest, you're not going to see my legs, you know, so there's no point in doing that. Unless you want to, like, have a carousel moment where I just stand up and turn around all over. So, sticky note complaint. To whom it may concern, in case you are not aware, something caused a sticky note in my office to duplicate. My office is unusable now. I'll be working from home until this is resolved. You can reach me on my cell or home phone. Sincerely, Boza, Vice Chief of Staff. That's Boza's office, okay. So, fake planes and machine god. Dear New York Tribune, airplanes aren't real. I figured out how they do it. The windows are TV screens. The whole thing moves on big tracks, like a roller coaster that moves through underground tunnels in the earth. Airports are more like train stations. They do this because the sky is full of monsters that they don't want us to know about. The planes we see in the sky are the monsters. The government made the Earth trains look like the monsters so they could lie to us better. Don't contact me. Wow. The conspiracy theory is real. The airplanes are monsters. This is on the same level as birds aren't real, like their surveillance devices. And then the machine god. I had a dream, and I built the thing I saw in my dream. A machine that will contain God, but not the God you know, or the ones anyone knows. A new God. This machine will be his body, his heart, and his mind. I made it just like the dream showed me. I used the motor from the refrigerator, and the cores from my toaster, and the fans, plus the timing belt from my car's engine, and the wheels from my son's skateboard. God can't move yet, but the dream said he would learn how on his own. This is just a beginner's body, like a baby's, but a machine instead. God only needs a place to start. If you want to interview me, please contact me at the address on the envelope. My phone does not work anymore. I had to use the dialing plate on God. We built God and then he destroyed us. And multimedia, I think there's like a radio thing here.
Reminder, if you experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2. Carry the altered item or object of power to the nearest safe room.
Was that the shelters?
3. Wait for bureau staff to find you and the object.
How would they know
If
to
there are
find
no
you?
altered items or objects of power in the vicinity, then reach your supervisor via the nearest intercom
Okay, there we
and
go.
await further
So each
instructions.
bunker has an
Thank
intercom
you
system
for your
inside.
attention.
Okay, that makes sense. Ding dong dong. And then we've got the expedition debrief.
Ranger Squad Charlie 7 returned from an expedition into the quarry threshold just after 0500 Zulu. State your names and describe the purpose of your expedition.
Kevin Horowitz.
Oh, this is about the mermaid.
Our mission was to map quarry.
Can I skip through this?
Secondary objective, as always, was to find.
Yeah, I don't think I need to listen to this again because we already heard it before. But Salvador, security order.
This is Lynn Salvador, head of Bureau Security. Formal security order due to the incident in April. Case number 21HQ593. Improper use of the jukebox altered item led to 2 fatalities.
Ooh.
We believe a pair of agents used the jukebox to travel to the quarry threshold and engage in inappropriate workplace behavior.
Engage in
An
intercourse.
expedition team found them decomposing at the formation's base a week later. At least we found out the jukebox doesn't bring corpses back when the song ends. I'm having the jukebox placed in a secure location in the executive sector. It should never have been accessible to low clearance staff in the first place. The new location security and proximity to a high traffic area will prevent misuse while still allowing for expedition teams to access it when required. See me for any further details.
But how do you access it? I haven't actually got the ability to access it yet, I don't think. And that's all the collectibles. Secret reward is definitely Rob getting a sack back and crack wax on stream. You can't do that though. Like, I think body painting is the very limit of what you can do on Twitch. Anyway. Hey Marshall, how's it going?
Had to take a detour into the quarry, but I found plenty. Here.
We will start HRA production immediately. I promised I'd tell you about Dylan once you helped us.
Spill the beans.
This is it. She knows. 17 years I've waited.
Spill the beans.
Your brother is here. He was once known as Prime Candidate 6, codename P6. We brought him here after the ordinary event. He was groomed to be the future director. He had
I'm the
talents
director.
far beyond any other candidate in the program.
Of course he did. We found you together. We share a bond. Are you with him now?
Wait, what?
So you kidnapped him.
Polaris is with
We
Dylan
took
right
you
now.
in. Your parents vanished along with every other adult in Ordinary. Eventually, his power changed him. There were casualties. He wasn't fit to be the director.
Did you know about this? Is this why you didn't bring me here sooner? Were you keeping me away? Where is Dylan?
He's kept in the containment sector, in the Panopticon.
My brother. I thought we were the same. What if we are? I'm going. Now.
I expected as much. I need to go check on something. Something I cannot let the hiss find. It shouldn't take long, but you must watch the bureau while I'm gone.
How do I watch the entire building that moves?
Dylan is dangerous.
He's still my brother,
Do
though.
not let him out, Director Faden.
How do I make her stop calling me that? I'm not
Don't let
here
him
for
out.
that.
Sounds like something I'm exactly gonna do.
Nothing simple here.
Hello. This
These
is new.
people took my brother, but they've accepted me without question. Are they my enemies or my friends?
Neither. They're your
I need to
colleagues.
see Dylan. I need to know. I wish you could tell me what you know, explain things. Just stay with me, okay?
Polaris is not exactly the chattiest of creatures, I guess.
I could use a friend right now.
Is it a creature? I don't know. Hard to say. Oh. They know I'm here. Oh, hey. Well, there we go. That seems pretty clear cut. Alright. More ability points. My brother's keeper. Cool. And we got the Water Demon here. Hello, Water Demon. How are you doing today? Feeling much better. Thanks for asking, Ollie. Well, it's good to hear that you're feeling better. Reaper says, I had to check the Xenoblade wiki so I could know who I should talk in Nopon Village to get a mission that is required to unlock a mission that will let me reach 3.5 Affinity Stars with Colony 6, so I could get another quest there in Colony 6. Yes, lots of back and forth, sounds like, unfortunately. Alright, so I did want to have this for launch. And then is it going to be another 3? Yeah, so I'm going to have to wait a little bit. I can't get more health yet. Well, that's fine. Yeah. All good. Okay, so containment panopticon. But before we do that, I want to have a check-in with Emily as well. Because if I wasn't mistaken, I think there's something else down here. What's this? Linguistic ability. Research and record. Oh, there's a hotline thing as well. Here we go. Researchers were sent to transcribe the recursive chant repeated by the hiss entities. In the interest of safety, this was done with the non-aggressive floating hiss entities. However, no distinction between this repeating phrase and the one repeated by the more violent hiss entities has been observed. What is the purpose of this repeating string of words? Is this how the hiss corrupts individuals? Does a chant produce a physical effect? Is it a message, an incantation? We were able to record a first-hand recitation of the chanting. See the corresponding audio record. File blank for full report. Okay, and then the hotline. Astral constructs. Oh, did we not already see this? Certain resources or loot can be constructed or crafted into mods and forms. We advocate and facilitate this at control points or menus. This will only be available and exclusive for the director. I feel like that should have already come up by now. Anyway. So, Emily, you got stuff to say? Hello.
Jesse, when you were down in research, did you run into a Dr. Rhea Underhill?
No.
I didn't. Who is she? She is a colleague of mine. A researcher studying a kind of extra-dimensional mold growing
Ah, okay.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
No one does. Look, I haven't heard from Rhea since the hiss arrived. Would you mind having a look around for her next time you're in research?
Of course.
Sure,
Thanks,
why not?
Jesse. Now, what's on your mind?
Something new to say? Black Rock.
I visited the quarry. What's the plan for all that black rock?
The Bureau has used Blackrock almost exclusively for containment purposes. See, I say, branch out. Instead of boxes, helmets. Instead of blast shields, knives.
Knives?
Knives?
Yes, knives. So many combat applications. Slicing, stabbing, gouging.
You're very excited about this, Emily.
Sorry. I've been trying to get Darling to explore combat applications for years. I got a little excited.
Wow. I did not expect that from her.
Bit sociopathic. Alright, Arish.
This place is looking good. Arish is making real progress around here.
Right? This place is a fortress. And with him taking care of operations here, I can spend more time analyzing the hiss. I've been attempting to isolate and neutralize the hiss resonance in blood samples, but no luck so far.
So you can't reverse it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Reversing it is too simple. See, if hiss resonance can rewrite human genetics, then perhaps it's a question of rewriting the hiss resonance. In theory, that could pave the way for custom human genetic alteration.
Make your own human.
I wonder how often the phrase mad scientist is used around here.
Probably never, because they're all mad. We're all mad here. Anyway, status of HRA production.
How is HRA production coming along?
Better than expected. We've already made enough to get people out of a couple safe rooms. And they're here, alive, thanks to you. And we never would have lasted this long if you hadn't walked in those doors.
You deserve thanks too, of course. We got this place up and running together, Emily.
Yeah, but I was talking to Polaris, actually, so...
I should be going.
Alright, we're good.
Enjoy your data.
So what's your opinion on the facial animation of this game, Rob? I think it's okay. Like, alright, it's not quite at the same level as Naughty Dog's animation. But this has probably more fun things going for it, I would say, maybe. Let's get this as well. Like, it's pretty good. And the most important thing when it comes to facial animations is not going into the uncanny valley, which is where it looks so human-like that it's creepy, but also it doesn't look like a human because it's so photorealistic. Usually the examples people give for the uncanny valley is a specific gif from Medal of Honor, where there's like a wife of one of the soldiers who's talking to a camera or as part of an interview, and the way that her head moves from side to side and the hair like floats on top of her skull and the way her eyes track across the screen looks really unnerving. And it's not even like she's looking directly at the camera either. It's just the way that's like, oh, you're supposed to be a human, but it doesn't look like a human kind of thing.